What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land. We are now well in the month of July and 10 days away into the next big Switch 2 game being Donkey Kong Bonanza. But after that, yeah, we are pretty much in the dark again, and everyone's clamoring and wondering when the next Nintendo Direct is going to be. Are we even going to get one? Now, about 2 weeks ago, I covered the fact that I did not think we were going to get one in June after they skipped the first couple of weeks, and, you know, obviously we didn't get one, and honestly, I'm still not very hopeful for this Nintendo Direct, but it still just makes too much sense for them to have one. It would be quite confusing if they didn't, because there's so many things that Nintendo needs to talk about, especially on their first year of this brand new console. So the rumors are swirling, everyone's stalking again, and apparently a lot of people are holding out for a Nintendo Direct not only this month, but perhaps even this week. But before we get started, today is my younger brother Layton's birthday today. He's turning 15. He's been following my footsteps, starting his own channel. So give him a birthday present by subscribing. He's trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by Christmas, but I mean, as you can see, we can make this happen today. So you can just click the link that I'll post in the description. It'll just take you to his page, and you can go give him some love. Go wish him a happy birthday as well. It's actually pretty funny considering the fact that, you know, a lot of people are already begging for a Nintendo Direct and we just got the Switch 2. It's not funny really, it's more concerning because you think people would be more, you know, just satisfied and content with Mario Kart and Donkey Kong coming soon to even think about a Nintendo Direct. I mean, I haven't even really had time to sit and think about, you know, what Nintendo could be talking about here soon, which there's still a lot for sure. But yeah, I mean, it just kind of shows you that Nintendo doesn't have a good, solid, you know, slate of games and dates out because people are a little worried and people are asking what's next. I mean, most people are getting tired and bored with Mario Kart World already. And, you know, myself included, I thought honestly this game would be plenty enough to tie me into Donkey Kong and probably even for the rest of this year. But I'm already finding myself kind of bored with Mario Kart World. You guys already know I have some issues with the game. I will be writing a full review for you guys soon on my whole thoughts of the 100% completion of that game, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But Donkey Kong Bonanza is 100% without a doubt my biggest, most anticipated game. I am so excited for this game, and this is to me going to be like my true launch title. I can't wait for this thing. But what happens after Donkey Kong? Nintendo needs to have some type of slate and plan moving on into the future of this year. Now, there are games slated, but once again, we are a whole week into the month of July and still no more information has been coming out about these upcoming games. The Legend of Zelda Hyrule Warriors is pretty exciting for, I think, hardcore Zelda fans, but for the general fan base, they could care less about a third Hyrule Warriors game, which is already a spin-off of the traditional Zelda formula, which is like more of a beat-em-up. It's completely different than traditional Zelda, so most casual players aren't going to care too much about this game, especially considering the fact that it was planned as a Switch 1 title as well. And then obviously you have Kirby Air Riders, which is also kind of a spin-off from the Kirby series, which is exciting. I am excited for it, but it is going to kind of clash with already giving us Mario Kart. You got Sonic Racing coming out this year, another racing game with Kirby Air Riders. So I don't know. It depends on kind of how people see this, but I think a lot of people might just say, you know what, it's a spin-off, I'm still good. And then of course you have Metroid Prime 4, which unfortunately is a Switch 1 and Switch 2 title. I don't want to say unfortunately because, like, I'm glad people can play it on both consoles, but the fact that it's a cross-release, it's also not giving anybody an incentive to go out and buy a Nintendo Switch 2, and I don't really see much incentive after Donkey Kong this year to go out and buy a Switch 2 so far. So Nintendo needs to show people what they can be playing on their brand new console that they just spent $450 plus for, so hopefully there is a Nintendo Direct soon. Now, the rumor mill is starting to ramp up once again, in a way. I mean, I haven't seen anything that even looked remotely concrete, something that I can, you know, even say myself that I think it's happening this week or this month even. So if I see something more accurate, I'll let you know, but this is what we know so far. So the first rumor came out last month from an unlikely source. Yep, from Beat-em-Ups on YouTube, which was pretty strange to see him actually leaking a Nintendo Direct because he doesn't do that. But apparently claimed that we'd be getting Metaphor ReFantazio, GameCube Shadow Drop of Pokemon Coliseum, Death Stranding Director's Cut S, Witcher 3 for Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, Metroid Prime 4 release date, and one more thing, Isabelle teaser for Animal Crossing 2026. Now, of course, this probably won't be everything in the show. Actually, I know it won't be everything in the show because it seems pretty light. But yeah, it is interesting to look at. I know none of that's like super exciting. Of course, we're getting a Metroid Prime 4 release date. Of course, we're going to get some more third-party games and stuff. Nothing super surprising there. But that one more thing with Isabelle teasing Animal Crossing 2026 is interesting. Animal Crossing came out at the beginning of 2020 with New Horizons, so by next year we'll be around 6 years until release. So honestly, it would make a lot of sense timeline-wise, but we're just gonna have to wait and see if that's the case. I hope there's a lot of other announcements in this show as well outside of those. But yeah, that's our first like actual rumor that we have. Now, there's been some more talk about this month and potentially even this week. Nash Weedle, an insider with a spotty track record, takes to Twitter and states, "So this week," and that's about it. Now, once again, very spotty, very, very off and on, so it's not reliable whatsoever. Take it with a grain of salt for sure, but it's something to keep in mind. A lot of people are feeling like it's either this week or not this month, which is strange. I don't know. I guess technically it's because the fact that this is already the second week of July, and we know next week is Donkey Kong Bonanza, and the week after, on the 22nd, is a Pokemon Present. So that leaves one final week, the very last week of July, being the 28th through the 31st. So it's either this week or the very last week of July, and I don't really feel it being the last week of July. So yeah, that's why a lot of people are kind of on the hype train of this has to be the week or no Nintendo Direct this summer. I'm still not sure. I'm very 50-50. I'm still leaning even towards no, just because it feels weird. I hope I'm wrong, but a lot of people are starting to point at this week, so we should know in the next couple of days or even the next day or so. And the last reason I have not bitten yet is because of Nate the Hate. Now, Nate the Hate has been pretty much 100% correct with everything regarding Switch 2 rumors and leaks and stuff. He knew when the Switch 2 presentation was. He knew when all the direct stuff were and like what was happening each week. He's been pretty much well on top of this thing. So he's the only one I'm listening to right now. And he commented on that This Week tweet from Nash Weedle and simply stated, "It's Sunday. I haven't heard of a direct for this coming week at this time. Maybe I'll hear different once the week starts." Did anyone ask if that is even what the tweet is implying? So people are grasping at straws here. We don't even know if even anyone's talking about the Nintendo Direct. Maybe Nash Weedle's talking about something else entirely different, but we know he often likes to talk about Nintendo stuff and talk about Nintendo rumors and stuff, but yeah, we're hungry. Nintendo fans are hungry. They have this brand new console in their hands and they want to see what's coming. And Nintendo is once again choosing to play their cards close to their chest, which is a very strange strategy that they've been doing recently. I mean, it's almost like they're waiting until the very last second to convey information to their fans, since the end of the Switch and the beginning of the Switch 2 era. I don't know if I like that side of Nintendo because I think, in my mind, the worst case scenario is them just taking to Twitter this week and saying, "Oh, here's a new trailer for Metroid Prime 4 with a release date," which is just undermining that game still. I feel like Nintendo just hasn't been doing that game justice, and them just dropping trailers on Twitter and YouTube is not getting the world to look at these big games. You need everyone to get their eyes on this Metroid Prime game because I don't think it's going to sell as well as people think it is, simply due to the fact that there's already 3 other games that were out on the GameCube and the Wii. Now we're on the Switch. Oh, technically the Switch 2, and like people are going to be, maybe a little scared to jump into Metroid Prime 4. You know what I mean? Nintendo needs to show why people need to jump into that game. They need to advertise that game better. They need to show off more games to be excited about. Not to mention, they just randomly shadow dropped Splatoon Raiders. So, I mean, they even need to talk about that as well. There's a bunch that they can talk about. And I think that's what's so hilarious is that Nintendo always chooses to have Nintendo Directs when I personally feel like we don't necessarily need one, and they're always like kind of mediocre in my mind. And then the times where they really need to have one, there's so many release dates they can give us and new footage of games and even new games that they could give us, and they don't give us one. So I don't know. Nintendo's a very weird company, but there's even more rumors I've been hearing about. Apparently a Pikmin 4 Switch 2 edition. I don't know what else it could add. It already has like a post-game Olimar mode. Like what else could they possibly add? Maybe a Louis mode or something where you play as him and his part of the story with his ancient Sirehound pup. So yeah, I think that could be cool. Maybe some more Switch 2 editions get announced and stuff, but there's so many things that Nintendo needs to talk about, and right now their hype is starting to dwindle. People are excited for Donkey Kong, but I can tell that Mario Kart hype is dying. I mean, a lot of people, from not only the views that I get on the channel, but just from people's interest online, it seems like people are slowly starting to move away. I've seen a lot of people already post on Twitter that they're bored, like a week in that they were bored and that they're ready for Donkey Kong. A lot of people believe that Donkey Kong should have been the launch title. So do I. But, you know, I know why Nintendo did it. It makes sense, obviously, with how well Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sold. They'd be stupid not, you know, to have Mario Kart World as a launch title, no matter what the game's form took. But I am really excited to see what's next for Nintendo. Let's hope in the next couple days we get some type of big Nintendo Direct, or if we wake up tomorrow and there's just a new trailer for Metroid Prime 4, we can all just cry. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below what you want to see from Nintendo here soon in the month of July. And thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See you guys.